Right, today we've been to the Mount of Beatitudes. That's where the Sermon on the Mount was. That's perhaps one of the, if not the most famous sermon in all of Christianity. And there's a few churches and temples up there, so that was interesting to see. And that's us just leaving Cesarea. Cesarea is said to be where Christ spent a lot of his time, as well as with Simon Peter, we saw his house. So it's been a busy morning, and it's only 10:50. You know, I'm really starting to like this country. It's fantastic. It's really good. All of it. See, I knew I loved this country. Kit Kats, Chunkies, and Mars bars. Dear goodness, why can't the Americans have stuff like this? Well, that's us back in Tiberias. We spent a fair bit of time after Cesarea and the Mount of Beatitudes on the Sea of Galilee, which was excellent. Then we had a really good meal. Got to eat some fish from the sea, which was from the Sea of Galilee, not just fish from the sea. We saw lots of different military aspects of Israel today. Passed several battalions of, battalions isn't the right word, at least a good 20 or 30 tanks, a couple of different military bases, some different personnel. Even saw an Israeli soldier on vacation or holiday, and the thing about that is they always have to have their guns on them. I'm not just talking like a sidearm, I'm talking like a big old thing. And which is very interesting to see. I don't actually mind seeing the military all the time. In Inverness we were very conscious of the RAF because they were doing flyovers all the time. But even then you never saw them in the streets in their uniform or anything like that. In Greenville, South Carolina, don't think I've seen much. Saw a couple of guys who had graduated from a Army Academy and they were in town one day, but apart from that I've seen nothing in the military. But I actually don't mind seeing them wandering around here. Saw plenty of different animals today as well. Saw cats, lizards. There was one very strange thing down by the Sea of Galilee after we got off the boat. It was longer and skinnier than a fox, but it moved like a cat. I'm kind of wondering if it was some sort of mongoose, but I don't think it was. I mean, it was a huge thing, like longer than my arm. But yeah, that was today. In fact, that wasn't today. We were also where? We were also at the Golan Heights, where you can see both the mountains on Lebanon and the border of Syria. And that was very interesting to see. That's where several of the military bases were, as well as the tanks. One of the guides up there was telling a story, saying that he was up there with a Canadian reporter, and when he was showing them around, rockets fell there about 2 or 3 years ago, when they were just showing them around. So that had to be pretty scary stuff. So it's interesting that it's as recent as that you still have issues. What do people think of Israel? They seem to think of it as a bit of a war zone, but I don't know, I find it to be perfectly peaceful. The people have been dead friendly. You know, you wouldn't think anything of it. But and today, being Friday, is the start of Shabbat for the Israelis, which means that from sunset tonight until sunset tomorrow, the whole place is going to be pretty quiet. Shops won't be open, people won't be walking around too much because it's their Sabbath. And I like how the entire country seems to still follow it. It's nice to have a day off for the entire nation, you know. I like that. Kind of reminds me of Harris back about 5-10 years ago. Still to an extent. It's nice. Now my friend Alison was over in Israel about a month before I am, or currently am, and she told me about these really cool wee beasties. Look what I found. Pretty sweet, huh? Yeah, I like these things. I think they're just pretty amazing. They're apparently made up from leftover scrap from their last war, which is pretty sweet, if you ask me. I think this is. Oh, okay, so there's a hole there. I think this is a pretty cool use of scrap metal. Right, guys, this here is a bunker underneath some Israeli trenches. they've got on the Syrian border. You can actually see Lebanon from here as well. And pretty dark down here. And it sounds like there's someone down here, so I'm going to get out of here. So one thing I want to do is interrupt someone in training.